Hi, I'm Andy from Cruisemaster, and today I'm in our Towing Performance Centre. In the Towing Performance Centre, we modify caravans and their tow vehicles for touring around Australia. The main focus on the vehicle side is all about weight and how that affects the safety of the vehicles that leave our Towing Performance Centre. The vehicle behind me is a 2021 Landcruiser 200 GXL, last of their type. So we grabbed this and decided to do a last build on this as our remote area testing vehicle. Our remote area testing is where we take our core products, our suspensions and couplings out into the bush and beat them up and put them through their paces. So it's important for these vehicles to be able to do that job day in, day out and be reliable, as well as be safe through those trips. From the reliability point of view, one of the biggest issues we've had on our remote area testing trips is with the electrical systems, like blade fuse holders overheating and melting, which leads to your fridge not working, and the biggest disaster of all, your beer's getting warm. So when we built this vehicle, we wanted to make sure that that was one of our biggest focuses. So in this vehicle, we've got a Megalife lithium starting battery under the bonnet there, and that's got a reserve cell on it, so if the main part of the battery was to go flat due to accessories on in the vehicle, we can still start the car. At the back of the vehicle, we do have a 100 amp lithium battery that's running through a red arc DC system to make sure that the fridge has always got enough energy to keep those beers cold. Then controlling all the accessories in the vehicle is a Switch Pro's solid state electrical control system. So that is a singular box that handles most of the accessories in the vehicle from the point of view of power distribution, fusing and switching, all controlled from one nice neat head unit inside the vehicle. It can also all be controlled using an app on your phone controlled by Bluetooth. This allows you to configure how the system works, as well as control all those accessories whilst not being inside the vehicle. The next critical thing about this remote area testing 200 is managing weight. So obviously we're towing 3.5 ton trailers around the country. We need to make sure that we're safe to do that. So in this vehicle we've got an AEV and J-Max GVM increase with brake towing capacity maintained. So that means that we can operate this vehicle at 4.2 tons with a 3.5 ton brake towing capacity. Now that is a pretty serious kit in this vehicle. It's made up of king springs and shocks and a replacement rear diff housing to give us a 2.5 ton rear axle capacity. It's also got a bunch of other stuff in it like replacement upper control arms, diff drop kit, all that type of stuff to make sure all the geometry of the vehicle is as good as factory. Even though I've got a 4.2 ton GVM, it doesn't mean you need to use it. To complement the GVM kit in this vehicle, we've got rated wheels and tyres. Well, they're a key component to make sure your vehicle is safe when you've increased the axle capacities of the vehicle. All of the kits that we supply here at Cruisemaster are always focusing on that wheel and tyre combination as well. When considering weight on a tow vehicle, we had a lot of protection gear to these vehicles. So keeping an eye to make sure it doesn't get out of hand is very important. So up the front here, we've got an off-road animal bull bar, which is about 30 kilos lighter than a lot of the conventional bars out there on the market. And so far we've winched off it and we've taken it 6,500 kilometre trip up the Cape and it's performed exceptionally well. We've also focused on some other components such as the side steps on the vehicle. Obviously we're going into tough conditions. The preference would have been to put a set of rock sliders on it. Those things weigh 70 kilos plus. So we've got a set of TJM steps on here that we've custom powder coated to match the bar. To finish off the protection products on the 200 here, we've got a Kmart rear bar. We've had 200s in the past, we've taken up the Cape and we've ripped bumpers off and stuff like that, so you've got to protect the back of them. In this particular case, all we wanted to do was protect the rear. We weren't going to replace the tanks underneath, so we didn't need to relocate the spare. We don't tend to put long-range tanks in the vehicle. We're towing big trailers, so we've got plenty of space to put lots of jerry cans, so fuel range isn't typically an issue. In the back of the 200 is another area we focused. A lot of the previous vehicles that I've had, we have put draw systems in the back of them, but those add a lot of weight. I got all the gear out of my draw system, figured out what I actually need, and decided on a separate solution for it. So in here we've got a false floor, which allows us to mount the fridge down to it, nice and low, keep the centre of gravity down, and a side box there which handles the 100 amp hour lithium BCDC system as well as the fuse box. We've got a nice lightweight K-on pet barrier up at the top, which allows us to move some of those lightweight components up there. The obvious thing is it comes down to recovery gear as well when we're out on our trips. So storing that somewhere is important that you can actually get to it. So instead of having it in a drawer system, it's up on the Titan tray on the top of the 200 in a box, really easy to get to, and it keeps it out of the car when it's all muddy and filthy after those recovery activities. So if you're interested in talking to someone about setting up your vehicle for touring Australia, or in particular for towing purposes, give the team here at the Cruisemaster Towing Performance Centre a call and be happy to help you out.